Hey, hello everybody. Good morning and welcome to the InduSoft presentation on web license. And today we're going to be covering some aspects of how you license your products with InduSoft Web Studio, the different license options, and the new features that we recently added both to our product and to our website. For those of you who have not participated on this before, you see that you can hear me, but I cannot hear you. So during the presentation, if you have any questions or you want to bring anything to my attention, you have to type it on the chat. During the presentation, I might not be able to answer your questions, but at the end, we're opening for a Q&A, and then I'll be looking through what you've typed on the chat, and you can also ask new questions, and I will be glad to answer all those questions to you. So let's very briefly go through our agenda here of what we're going to be presenting today. And I hope you all can see my desktop right now with the PowerPoint presentation. If you're not seeing or having problems with that, just type on the chat so I can try to do something about it, okay? Okay, so my name is Lorenzo Teodoro. I'm the Director of Software Development here at InduSoft. And our agenda today is going to be, first, I'm going to just talk generally about licensing. There was a webinar that we did back in July, I think, where we covered this in more detail. I'm not going to go over all those details again, but I'm going to briefly talk about the different aspects of licensing and open up for questions later. But I'm going to talk about products, execution modes, license settings, protection types, and so on. So that's going to be the first piece. Then I will cover license activation. Pretty much, how do you activate your license? And to do that, I will first cover how you do it today, how you activate the license today. Then I'm going to show you a new feature that we introduced on InduSoft Web Studio version 7.1, Service Pack 3, Patch 3. That's the most recent version that you're going to find on our website. And then I'll talk about web license activation, which is more an enhancement that we did in our website that you can go and activate your license. And then I'll go through a demo on how to use the web license activation. I'll show you, what you're going to receive, what are the steps, and so on. And finally, I'm going to open for question and answers, and hopefully I'll be able to address a lot of the questions that you guys have. All right, so the first step is really, when talking about the licenses, to understand the different product families that InduSoft has. And we divide our offerings in 3 product families. The first one is InduSoft Web Studio itself. And InduSoft Web Studio is the development environment that you actually use to create your application for all the different target runtimes. You might be running on a PC, on an embedded device, or on a CE view. You need an InduSoft Web Studio development license in order to create your application. And the InduSoft Web Studio also has a runtime license. In case your runtime is going to run on a desktop or on a server PC, InduSoft Web Studio is the product that you need to purchase, both for developing your application and to host your runtime or execute your application, if you will. Then we have the embedded view. The embedded view is a very small footprint version of the InduSoft Web Studio runtime. It doesn't have all features. There are some limited capabilities there, but it's very robust. I mean, it has a lot of what you get in the full PC version. But it's, of course, a lot cheaper, and it's limited to 4,000 tags. I mean, the biggest limitation is that you can only use 4,000 tags. You can use any of our drivers, you can use OPC, you can use OPC UA, all those functionalities are there. Web functionality is there as well, but it's limited to 4,000 tags, and it's a very good and for applications where you have an HMI on a machine and things like that. So it's not a full-blown server that you want to deploy, but more of embedded, running on Windows embedded or XP embedded. So the embedded view doesn't run on a regular PC. You actually have to have an embedded operating system in order to use this version, right? And most of the HMI panels that are sold by the different manufacturers, they come with an embedded version of Windows. And what I mean by that is XP embedded or Windows 7 embedded. And then we have the CE view, which is also targeted for embedded. It has pretty much the same limitations that we have on embedded view. It might have some additional limitations because of the Windows CE operating system. There are a few things that are particular from that operating system that will impose such limitations. But overall, the products are very similar, except that CE will run on Windows Embedded Compact, which is the name that Microsoft uses now for the former Windows CE. And our current releases run from Windows CE 5.0 and newer. Windows Mobile is also covered, and it's supported by that version. So the first thing that you usually decide when you are getting a license is which one of these you need, right? And of course, usually you need at least one development license for InduSoft Web Studio so you can create your application. And then you need a runtime license for the target that you're using. If you're using application running on desktop is InduSoft Web Studio, Windows XP, embedded and Windows embedded up to 4,000 tags is embedded view. InduSoft Web Studio also runs on those embedded operating systems in case you have an application with more than 4,000 tags. And then finally the CE view, which will allow you to run on Windows CE, which we also limit to 4,000 tags. Now, within this license definitions, we have this concept of execution modes, right? Pretty much, how is your InduSoft Web Studio running in respect to license? Pretty much, and hold on. Okay, and I just want to confirm if you guys are seeing my screen, because I got some people here who are just seeing a green screen instead of seeing my screen. If you're not seeing it, just let me know. Okay, yeah, I'm getting feedback that people can see it, so that's great. Okay, execution modes. Pretty much, we have 5 different execution modes. I mean, usually you don't have to be too much concerned about this, but it's good to clarify and explain what these are. So the first one is what we call evaluation. If you got our CD or you downloaded the product from our website, you installed on your computer, you might have purchased the license or not. We're going to run it for 40 hours on the computer where you installed the software. And there you can do development, you can use the runtime. It's pretty much the full version of InduSoft Web Studio. It just doesn't support some options like the import wizards. But other than that, you're able to use and evaluate the product. And after those 40 hours, and that's supported only for InduSoft Web Studio, right? If you go to Embedded View and CE View, they don't have the evaluation mode. Instead, they fall directly into the demo mode. So if you install Embedded View or CE View on your target device and you run them, they will run in demo mode, which is for 2 hours. And if InduSoft Web Studio expires the evaluation, then it goes into this 2 hours demo as well. And when it goes to demo, you can no longer edit your application. You have to purchase a license after that because it only allows you to see the runtime. And it's good sometimes if you receive an application or you're evaluating something that your integrator did, you don't have a license handy, you can run the application and see the results of what was developed to you. You don't even have to have a license for that, but after 2 hours, it will terminate. Then we have the runtime only license, which disables the development tools and enables the runtime for unlimited time, of course. And that's supported across all the 3 product lines, of course. And one thing that's particular to this is in the runtime only, if you're using like Web Studio, we still allow you to debug your application. So the runtime only doesn't allow you to edit, but you can connect to the device, for instance, using the database SPY or the remote or the login, and you can see what's happening in case you have a problem. So troubleshooting is still possible even though you only have a runtime only license. We thought that would be very helpful for our customers, so we decided to allow that. And then we have the development only. Of course, you cannot do development on the embedded view and C view. Those are just runtimes, but we have that for InduSoft Web Studio. And the InduSoft Web Studio development only license allows you to develop your application, and if you run the runtime, it will run for 72 consecutive hours. So if you have a development only license, you can still use the runtime to test your application, and it should be for testing purposes only, and it will execute for 72 hours. And then we have development and runtime, which is not applicable for embedded view and C view, but we have for InduSoft Web Studio, and that is in the case you want to have a development and runtime on the same machine, which makes it convenient to you. Sometimes developing and deploying the application to the remote machine is not as easy as just testing and doing everything on your own computer, right? So these are the execution modes. And then once you have selected or defined your execution modes, we have all the different license settings. I mean, I like this slide because it pretty much consolidates all options that you have when you are purchasing a license with InduSoft. So first, of course, you have to decide which version of the product you are using, and ideally you want to always be in the latest release. One thing that is important, especially for hard key, usually, if you get a hard key for the latest release, it will work with other versions. So, for instance, if you bought a hard key for version 7.1 and you install the license for 7.1, you can go and use that hard key on version 7.0, and it will accept it. Unless, of course, we have cases like, for instance, from version 7.1. From version 6.1 to version 7, we introduced new hard key types, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So if you get one of those new hard key types, they're not going to work with version 6.1 because they were not implemented there. But from 7.0 forward, if you have one of those keys with 7.1, you can use with 7.0. So that's a nice thing about it, and it's something that's not available for the soft key. It's one of the advantages of using a hard key, and I'm going to talk about that later. So once you have decided on your version, then you have the execution modes. Now, the execution modes options that we have is what I just explained on the previous slides, right? So you only need a runtime, like you already have your application. All you need to do is to ship it with your machine. Then you're going to be buying runtime licenses, right? And then the third thing that you choose, and this is the most important and difficult choice for most of our customers, is defining what we call license level, which will pretty much define which product you are using. We have different names for these products, but regardless of the names, the limitations are pretty much what you can see here. So if you're by, which is number of tags and then number of drivers that you can run simultaneously. So, for instance, if you are using a version with you buy the basic license, that would be 150 tags, one driver running. Now, the important thing is it can be any of the drivers, right? So as long as you only have one running, you are good with that. And we even have customers who dynamically load drivers into the application. That's an advanced feature that you can use in Web Studio. But as long as you only have one driver running at the same time, you would be able to use any of the ones that you have there. And then above 1,500 tags, we allow 3 simultaneous drivers. And again, it can be any of the drivers that we have in our list. I would say just one exception. The IC and DNP drivers require a separate license option that I'm going to talk, a license option that we're going to talk in a minute. The same thing for the on-roll driver that you have to purchase through on-roll. But other than that, you should be able to execute any of the drivers that are available in the product. And then it goes, from 150 tags up to 10 million tags. And we have a lot of applications running with 10 million tags, which shows, why the product is so robust and why we are getting so many customers in the marketplace. So you can go from the little embedded, it's a single development tool that you can develop across all these different product lines and with all these different tag ranges that you can select. Now, once you've got your tag license level, the next thing that you would be interested in is the number of thin clients. One of the great things about InduSoft Web Studio is the web capabilities that are built into the product. Right now, what we call web or web thin clients is a plugin that we install on the browser that allows you to see your application remotely using Internet Explorer. And that's for the InduSoft Web Studio, you can have up to 128 clients connected at the same time to the same application. And what you see here are the increments. So it's pretty much power of 2. So you can have 1, 2, 4, 8. So those are the options that you can get when you are purchasing web clients. Now, one interesting thing is any license that you buy from InduSoft Web Studio, you get one client for all the 3 options, for web, secure, and mobile access. And the same thing happens for the embedded view, and on the embedded view we have an extra limitation that you can have only up to 8 concurrent clients, which for embedded applications which should run on low-end devices, it's plenty. And one thing that's interesting on this is you don't have to install any license on your client side. So if you access from the browser, we will install the plugin for you. Of course, you have to run the browser for the first time as an admin, so we have the rights to install our plugin. Or you can get from the bin folder the thin client setup, and then you get your web client running. You connect, you don't have to install a license on your client. The license goes on the server along with your hard key or soft key. So if you have to update to support more clients, you don't have to do anything on the client stations. You just update the server, and you don't have to do anything on the client side. The client doesn't require a license for itself. And the same thing applies, of course, not only the web, but secure viewer, and the SMA, which stands for Studio Mobile Access. Which is the Studio Mobile Access is we did a great release on Service Pack 3. It's a growing technology inside the product that we are using to provide capabilities using HTML5, and you're going to see more and more capabilities coming on the next releases. And then we have the add-ons, right? We have the collaboration add-on, which allows multiple people to work in the same project at the same time. It's a great add-on. It works with the Microsoft Team Foundation server, which you don't even have to install on your premises if you don't want. Microsoft offers that as a service, and it's a free service actually, up to 5 users. And you can sign up on the visualstudioonline.com with your account and use that to collaborate in development of your application. So you can have multiple people working in the application at the same time. Then we have the IC and DNP drivers, which are very complex drivers. They really go out of the norm of our regular drivers. They're very complex protocols, and because of that, we had to put an additional charge for that license in order to be able to support and keep enhancing those drivers. And then we have the OPC XMLDA option. The product already comes with an OPC client, which is single-threaded. And by single-threaded, it means that if you are connecting to multiple OPC servers, you've got to be careful, because if one OPC server goes down, it might slow down your other servers. Usually it's not a problem if all the OPC servers are in the same computer and you have reliable connections, but if you need something more solid than that, then you have to purchase the OPC XML VA. Now, if you use OPC UA, the entire OPC UA is part of the license, just the XML VA, which is charged an additional fee. And then we have the import wizards for Panel Builder and Panel Mate. If you want to be able to import and automatically convert those applications into InduSoft Web Studio applications, then you have to purchase those add-ons separately. Okay, so once you have defined what you want, what you need, I need a runtime license with 8 WebTeam clients with 1,500 tags. Then the next step is, what is the protection type that you're going to be using, right? So we offer today 3 different protection types. One is hard key. So it's a physical device. It can be a USB, and you're going to see in the next slides that we have other options there. And it's locally connected to your computer. And it's very simple. I mean, a lot of people opt for that option because you can take that key physically and transfer your license to another computer, right? Or take it with you. If you have a problem with the computer crashes, you can simply go take the hard key out, put a new computer in, plug the hard key in that computer, and it's licensed. So that's the biggest advantage of a hard key. And then we have the soft key option. So the soft key matches unique identifiers from the computer you are in and generates something that we call site code. And with that site code, we can generate a license for that specific computer. Now, if that computer crashes or you have problems, then it's your responsibility pretty much. You might have to purchase another license. We might be able to reactivate it to you depending on the case or scenario. Of course, we want to make sure you always have your plant running. So, we know license is a burden for most of our customers. It's like installing a security system on your house, so you make sure people don't break in. Ideally, if you didn't have to install that, it would be even better, right? And we understand that with licensing. So if you have a license, you have a system running, you had a crash, contact us. We're going to make sure you get your system running before we can figure out the license details. So that's very important. But if you get a soft key, it makes it a little harder for you to reactivate. Of course, if you install on a new computer, like you got a crash installed on a new computer, remember, if you're not using an embedded, you're using a web studio, you get the evaluation mode for 40 hours. So that can also help you to reestablish your system and make sure you don't have like big stoppage times. And finally, we have the license server. So the license server is also a hard key, but it's a hard key that you install on one computer in your network, and then you can use that license from other computers in your network. And you can have in that key enable like simultaneous connections. So for instance, you can buy a license server with 16 licenses. So people can, you can have 16 different computers on your network connecting to it and getting the license from it. And when we talk about hard keys, and this is new, it's part of the InduSoft price list, I think, when we released the 7.1 or 7.1 SP1 or something like that. But our key that we support for several years is this one with no storage, the black key that we call Sentinel. And this Sentinel key will work with version 6.1 on. So if you get a license or a hard key for version 7.1 with a Sentinel key, it will even work with 6.1, right? So you can get only one key and work across all these different products. The other ones that we have there, they're new for version 7.0. And then from version 7.0 on, you can use all these different formats. So you can get what we call without storage options, where you can have the regular key, or you can get the little small factory form of the USB, which is very tiny, very convenient. If you plug it on your computer, it's not going to even bother you. You can put your computer on a case. I mean, customers, we have a lot of customers opting for this option because it's a lot more convenient. And then we have the options with storage. So you can have a USB with a flash card, industrial grade storage, and it can be like the regular USB, or it can be an SD card, I'm sorry, a micro SD or a compact flash. So this is very good, for instance, if you have applications where you need for instance, the application itself, the runtime and everything on a single flash card, very convenient for embedded systems like Windows CE. You put a flash card that has everything in it. If you have a problem with your HMI, you take your flash card out, you put your flash card on the other HMI, and then everything is going to run. And you don't have to install a license because the license is on the flash card itself, because the flash card is considered to be the key. And then we have the soft key protection type. Again, that's based on two identifiers, one called site code, another one called site key. We use the same concept of site code and site key to upgrade hard keys remotely. So the fact that you got a hard key, for instance, for version 7.1 1500 tags, and if you need to upgrade, you don't have to send the key to us. You can do that upgrade remotely. And we do that by using these magic numbers, site code and site key, but for the soft key offering, that's pretty much how you activate it. That's the only way. When you buy it from us, you have to send us the site key code. We're going to give you, you have to send us the site code. We're going to give you a site key with the license that you purchased. You paste it in the site key field, you click authorize, and then you get your license. And then the license server, it's a little key you put on the server, your license will propagate to all the other stations. Now, it's very, and I see some people here complaining about the audio, or that they're getting no sound. If you're logged in from your computer, I recommend maybe you try the phone. It might be something on your computer, because in general, people are getting good audio. So I'm getting feedback that the audio is good. So it's something particular to some specific people there. They're not getting the proper connection. I apologize for that, but I also would like to emphasize that this is getting recorded, so it's going to be available on our website. In case you're not getting the audio or something like that, you're going to be able to download and watch it again. But please post your questions, even if you have questions that you wanted to ask and you're not getting the proper audio. I'll make sure I answer those questions based on what they come up in the chat, so you can refer to them later. Okay, so going back, on the license server, you get your key, you put it on a computer on the network, and then you configure the protection manager inside InduSoft Web Studio to look at that server, and then it will see your license. Now, there are some limitations with the license server today that I need to point out. First, the server can only have licenses of the same type. So you can have 10 licenses with 1,500 tags or 10 licenses with 16,000 tags, but you cannot mix different license types on a server and then distribute those licenses, right? So if you buy a license server license, you need to have the same license type for all base stations that are connected to it. Of course, nothing prevents you from having multiple license servers on your network, and the license server can even be the PC that's running your application. You can put your key there and then make the other stations point to it. And inside the protection manager, this is how it looks like. You can see some screenshots, but I'm also doing a quick demo here. You can enable the license server, and then you have the options for local license, that's looking at the local computer. It looks only at the local computer. Then you have local and network. Local and network means if you plug the key on your computer, you will look at your local key first, If it doesn't find it, then it will go to the licensor. And then we have the opposite, network and local, where we're going to look at the network first, try to find a license. And if we don't find the license, then we're going to go and look in your local computer. And of course, you have the network only as well that you can select. Okay. So let me go back. Okay. And now let's talk about license activation, how you actually activate your license today once you have purchased it, right? So when you purchase your license, InduSoft ships to you or to the distributor who should be shipping this to you something called a certificate of authenticity. And it's a little piece of paper which pretty much has what we call NS number. It's a 6-digit number which uniquely identifies your license. When you contact us to get your license, we're going to ask you for that NS number. And that NS number is logged into our database, so we know who was the distributor who sold the license and all the details about it, how many tags it has, and everything. You also need to provide us the site code, and you can provide us that information, and along with the purchase order, if you have that also helps us speed up the process of getting you the license. And with that information, you can contact us, and it can be through email, through phone. You choose the way you're going to reach us out, and we're going to generate the site key and send it to you. You put the site key and you click authorize, you get your license. And this works across all the different platforms. If you're using embedded device, you can activate the license remotely by connecting to the by connecting to the device. And you're going to find information about that on our help manual as well, explaining how to connect to the device and install the license on it. But the problem that we have with this activation form is sometimes you need human interaction, or you have to pop up the chat on our website. You have to give us a call or wait until we reply to your email. And sometimes we get the wrong NS number, or the PO information is missing, or we need to get more information because that NS number has already been activated. And then you end up having to wait more than you should to get your license, and we find that inconvenience, especially for customers who have a big time difference with us. I mean, we have a very broad coverage across the different continents, right? We have InduSoft in the US, Germany, South America. We now have support in China as well, so you can get your local support. But you might have purchased your license through a distributor even on another continent. You know, you need to activate your license, and you're not sure how to do it. So the license activation today, we do our best to make sure you get your license as quick as you can, and we're going to keep that license activation, but we know about the limitations and flaws that we have with it. And in order to overcome some of those limitations, we are now enabling the web license activation. But one thing that's important and I want to emphasize, it doesn't mean that you have to change to use the web license activation or you're forced into it. It's just an option. You can keep doing what you are doing today if that works better for you, but if you want to switch to the web, which is a lot more convenient to do activations, please go for it. We really think that most of our customers are going to be using the web activation from now on, but maybe there are things that we don't know, or they run into situations that we don't know, or they are on environments where internet access is not available. We want to make sure we keep supporting you, so web activation is just one other way that you have to activate your license. Now, before going into that, I also want to talk about the soft key network interface card selection. One of the unique numbers that we get from your computer in order to generate the site code is the MAC ID. And throughout the years, I can't tell you how many complaints we got on people who would lose their license, like the license is working but now it's not, and they would call our technical support, and then we would find out that it happened because they selected their VPN or we automatically pick the MAC ID of their VPN instead of picking the physical card on their computer. And because of that, when the VPN was on, their license would work, but as soon as they disconnect from the VPN, the license no longer works. And of course, we had ways around. You could go in the control panel, change the order of your adapters, but it was just hard for customers to follow that. So we tried to make it more user-friendly. We implemented this, or most of this, on Service Pack 3, but we had to do a lot of validation. It was only on patch 3 that we enabled this capability for our customers. So now the customer can select the network interface card that they want to associate their license with. And usually you want to select the physical Ethernet card on your computer. So just to give you an example, the screenshot that you're seeing there, let me just open the options that I have on the adapter settings on my computer here. So you can see that I have a lot of Ethernet and bridges and all that because I do development on this computer, so it's pretty crazy. But I can see here that my Ethernet is the Realtek PCI GBE. So this is the one that, I never disable on my computer. And again, if the Ethernet cable might not be connected, we don't care about the Ethernet cable being connected as long as the interface is enabled, right? So if you install your license and you disable you associate it with the Ethernet and you disable the Ethernet card, your license is no longer going to work. So you have to be careful when you're doing it to select a network interface card that's always active, right? And before, we wouldn't give you that option. If you are using a version that's prior to patch 3, then you can go and make that selection from here. You can come here in the advanced settings, and here you can set the order of your Ethernet cards. So, for instance, I can come here to my Ethernet port, and if I want InduSoft to use this one, I have to click on this arrow and move it to the top. So this is how the users would select which one they want to use it. Okay, and if you're not using this, or if you're using patch 3, then we made it a lot easier. In the register module itself, you can make a selection. So I got some question here of people asking if I'm going to show them how to activate license on Windows CE or how to install the soft key on Windows CE. The goal here was really to show the web license, but I can see if I can demonstrate that. If we have the time, I will try to go over how you activate that type of license. And I should have. That's very straightforward. Okay, and then so this is new on patch 3. And now we have what we call the web license activation. So what has changed from the web license activation is that you are able to do it on your own on our website. And it replaces the NS number, which is a very small number, to something called activation key. So now you can go to our website. As long as you have an activation key, which we don't know how you got the activation key, like maybe we sold it to a distributor who then sold to another entity which sold to your company, and now you need to activate your license. You can go to our website, log into our website, and using the activation key and the site code, you are able to get your site key and activate the license. Now, when you when you perform that activation, let's say you have a computer there and it's running the license, everything is good, and by some reason the computer crashes, right? Then you put a new hard drive, you install everything on the computer, and now you need to get your license again. Well, you can go back to our website, and using the same activation key, as long as it is for the same computer, you can get your site key again. So it's nice because you don't even have to contact us. You can go there and activate it. And moving forward, we're going to be enhancing this more and more. So things like transferring license from one computer to another are not yet part of the web licensing as it is today, but you can still do through web license with some assistance from us. So if you're transferring a license, you still have to contact us at this point, but the idea is to enhance the web license to get to a point where you can even transfer your license from one computer to another without having to come back to us. Now, what the web license is, pretty much, when you buy a license from us, you are going to get an email from us that has the activation key. And if you didn't buy it from us, or you buy it from a distributor or another channel or an OEM, that OEM can give you this information. And they can provide this information either by forwarding the email that we sent to them, because we're going to send the email to them, or the information is going to be in the box. So this slide that you're seeing here that represents the email that you would receive, this is going to come printed to you in the box that you have. So if you keep your activation code, or as long as you can have your activation code, you can come to our website and activate your license. So let's do a quick demo of this to actually understand how it works. So here, I issued a license to myself, and I just got this information by email from InduSoft. Of course, because I was the one creating the license, it came as me as the contact point, right? But then you have two options. You can come here, and you can go to this website. You click, it will just open on your browser. And then you have to log into our website. So let me log in. If you're not registered, then you're going to have to register here. And then you get access to this interface. Now, this interface, you have to enter with site code and activation key, click Get Site Key, and then you retrieve your license. So that's, especially if you got the printed version on the box, you're probably going to have to do this. You're going to have to enter with this URL on your browser, log in, take the number that you have in the activation key, type the number here, get your site code, and then you can activate. Now, what is important is that this is available not only for soft key. This is also available for hard key. So if you need to upgrade the hard key, you can get the same type of email and come and activate on our website. And if you are activating, I would say, not a hard key, but like an empty hard key, and we have a lot of people who get those empty hard keys. We have distributors who like to have them in stock if they're overseas. They don't want to wait us or have us ship one by one. It's just not cost effective, right? So they might have 20 empty keys that they have in stock, and now they need to license that key. They can simply go to our website, get the activation key for the license that they purchased, and then, license it there. Also, if they want to pre-purchase, let's say I want to have 20 local interface licenses, but I don't know which customer it's going to, they can order those 20 licenses from us. We're going to send the box to them with the activation key, so that they can, when they ship the box to the customer can go to our website and can activate the license. Now, if you get this by email, then your life is a little easier, because if you just click on the activation key right here, we're going to bring you to our website, and the activation key field is already filled out, so you don't have to type it. And this activation key, it works very similar to, how you activate licenses for, let's say, Microsoft Office, for instance, right? We don't care much about who is the end user who is activating. If it has not been activated on any computer yet, we allow him to activate. We log the information on who activated the license in our database, because you need to register in our website first. Yeah, and there is an interesting question there. If clicking on that link bypass the register and log into our website. So let me log out and try to do that again, right? So I log out of the system and I click. It will ask me for the email address and the password on the website. So you do have to register before you can use this, and otherwise we don't have a way to know who activated a specific activation key. So you do have to register on our website. So again, you saw that when I clicked on the link, if I was not previously logged in, it asked me for a username and password. Once I log in, I can come here. In this case, this activation code is for a soft key. I select my network card on this computer, copy the site code, paste it here, and click Get Site Key. Now, once I do this, it will reach out to our server, decrypt the information about the site code and activation key, find the proper entry to make sure it's a valid license, and then it will issue the site code to you. And there we go, the site key, I'm sorry. So it issued the site key. It also sends you an email with the site key, so you're going to have that email. And then you can just copy this, paste here on the site key field, and then you get your license. And some questions I'm trying to answer because they're important right in the context that I'm in. Some others I'm leaving to the end, right? But there's an important question. If I buy multiple licenses for different customers in a single PO, right, do I get multiple activation keys? So the answer is yes. You're going to get multiple activation keys, but not only that, you're going to get multiple boxes, and each box will have its own activation key, right? And as I said, we don't really care much. We don't put in the email or the printout that we send out, we don't put any customer information in it, so it's pretty like customer agnostic. As long as the guy gets the activation key, he can activate his license. Now, if you find that someone is complaining that the activation key was never activated, but they can no longer use it, or they're getting an error that it's already in use on another computer, then you can contact us, and we know who activated that activation key on our website, right? And then we can find out, hey, this was actually activated by this user, and that's why we're blocking it. Okay, so very good, and let me just show, I think, the last step on this. Once you activate your license, you get an additional email that we recommend you keep for your records. Let me just download everything from us. So this comes from our website saying, hey, this activation key has been activated by you, and this is the site code, this is the site key, this is the NS number. If we have some PO information, the PO information is going to be there. Of course, PO information is optional. We try to put that in the email so we can easily, in case you contact us or you need to transfer the license to another computer, we always have that in our records. So far, so good. So we have 12 minutes for questions and answers, but before we go into Q&A, I really would like, since I got a question on how to activate the license on embedded devices, let me see if I can very quickly cover that use case. And of course, in order to do that, I have to find a device here in our network. Let me see if I have one that I can test with. If you give me just 1 minute. If not, I will just postpone this. Okay, I think I can simulate this very easily. Okay, so if you have an embedded device like a Windows CE or embedded view, on your Windows CE device, you run this tool called, it's a C server. That's the name of the executable, right? And in order to install your license, if you're at the device itself, you can click here Setup and click License, Change. and then it's the same process. You get your site code, you type your site key, and then you can activate your license. I call this the hard way. You know, going the device is not always the easiest way. Of course, if you're using RDP, like remote desktop, it makes it a little easier, but it's not always the easiest path. Now, if you have this running on the embedded device, and again, I'm running here on an emulation mode, this on my computer, you cannot run the embedded VOC server on your computer. It will not allow you. It will only allow you to run on the embedded device itself. So this guy runs on the embedded device. And I'm running here just for simulation purposes. Now, once you have this running, let me just go and launch the InduSoft Web Studio development environment. Now you can come here, connect to your device. In my case, I will just put the loopback IP address because I'm running the simulation here on my device. It's protected with a password that I probably have to reset because I don't remember what it was. Okay, I know. So let me just do the resetting here. 1 minute. Okay. Close. So let's cancel this and connect again. Okay, so I just connected to it, and then I come here on embedded license. And then you have the same interface, but then you can activate your license remotely. So once you connect to your target, it will give you the site key. You can go to our website, trace it with your activation key. It's going to give you a site code. You can go to our website, paste it there along with the activation key, get your site key back, and send it to the device. All right. So hopefully that's. I hope that answers the question on how to activate the license on your embedded device. And now let's go to Q&A. Okay. So one of the questions here was that it would be nice if I could show how to get to the register module to install your license, right? This is a bit of a challenge because it changed from operating system to operating system, right? But the easiest way that you can go about doing that is, let me just put here, here's my Windows 8, and I hope it is showing up to you guys. If you just start typing register, it will bring the InduSoft Web Studio register module. And that will work also on Windows 7 or Vista. So if you type start and you just type register, then you can go directly to that. Now, if you don't have this, or you're using like Windows XP, right? In Windows XP, when you click on Start, it will bring you the list of applications. In a similar way to what we have here, well, not similar, it's completely different, but the applications are grouped by the vendor, right? So if in this case, I'll just filter by the I, which doesn't work well on Windows. So this interface is really bad. But if you are on Windows XP, for instance, and you click Start, you have to go to Programs and find InduSoft Web Studio. Inside InduSoft Web Studio, you have the register entry. On Windows 7 and Windows 8, I really recommend the easiest way, which is simply hitting the Start button and start typing register. But this is the item that you're looking for. Now, once you click Register, that will open the register interface. And then you can select between hard key and soft key. You can click check to see the license that you have, and click change license if you want to change the license that you have installed there. Okay, so let's see next. For demo and development mode, can you use less than 2 or 72 hours on multiple occasions? Yes, definitely. If you're using development mode, you you run it, if you stop the runtime and it restarted again, it starts counting from zero, you know. So a development-only license you can run again and again for these 72 hours. And the same thing goes for the demo. The difference is that for the demo to reset, you have to close the InduSoft Web Studio entirely. Another question, how about the on-roll driver license with soft key and 40 hours? During the 40-hour trial period, the on-roll driver is not working. You know, the on-roll driver was a great partnership that we had with On. We really love working with On. They are great working with us, but it's really an offering that they have. They are the ones who sell the driver, and they decided that this would not be into the evaluation mode, and that's why we don't have it in evaluation mode. So apologies for that, but if you need the ORO, at least for the time being, you have to contact them. Of course, as an option, if you need to evaluate and test, they can generate a temporary license for you. So you can go and say, hey, I need to evaluate the ORO driver. It's not available in the 40 hours. They can go and generate a license for you, like a soft key for 30 days or something like that. Okay, then a question about a walkthrough on the Windows CE 6.5. I hope I was able to do that because the steps are pretty much the same. You run the CE server, connect to it on the remote device, and then you can install the license, or you can just click on the CE server while you are there. So can the web license activation be used to transfer license? It can, but it requires interaction with us, right? So what's going to happen if you need to transfer your license? You have to contact our license team, say, hey, I need to transfer this license, and they will send you an activation code to kill the existing license on one computer and activate it on the other computer. So you can, but it's not automatic. And then I think I answered the question on ordering multiple licenses if you're a distributor doing that. Right, and then suggestion. In the future, will there be a hyperlink in the register program linking to the license activation page online? Yes, we decided to implement these in phases. I think the next step from our standpoint is not even having you to go to our website. You can just type your login information directly into the register module, enter the activation key, and get your license from there. But the thing is, it would be very hard for us to do that for all the old versions of the product, right? So we said instead of putting this in the register, we put it in our website, so that even if you're using version 6.1 or 7.0, an old release, you can still get your license activated on the web. But I'm not sure if you're going to be able to enable that on version 8, but there is an item in the backlog to integrate this solution on the register module. But great suggestion there. So some customer asks for a package delivered with product licenses, USB or anything. Currently, we deliver product to standard USB or standard DVD. Is it possible that you can ship a box with the product inside? Okay, I assume that when you say a box with the product inside, you're saying the license, right? If you're delivering the USB already with the license installed, it will go with the license. Now, if you're shipping just a blank USB key that you had on your stock, for the licenses that you purchase, we're going to send you a box, and the box will have the activation code in it, and the instructions to activate it. So you can go deliver this to the customer, and the customer is going to be able to activate his license, even without going back to you. They can just go to our website and get it activated. Okay, so how do you split InduSoft development and install runtime on another machine? Again, that's a process that you need to contact us today because there is interaction that we have to go through to move the runtime license. So if you bought one and you have the development and runtime on one machine, the process is very simple. You send us the activation code, the site codes that you have, and say, hey, I want to transfer the runtime from this machine to another one. We're going to issue a license that's development only for you to install on your computer that currently has both. and ask for your site code back so we can confirm that you did that. And once we confirm that you did that, you can send us the site code from the other machine, and then we install the runtime on that other machine. Yeah, so will web activation work for new orders of older licenses? Yes, definitely. It will work for and as I said, that's one of the reasons why, the web license is not associated with the product. If you're using version 6.1, you're able to do or to use the activation code to get your license, or 7.0 or any of those. Okay, those are all great questions, and I think we're running out of time now. So thank you very much for participating in this webinar. We really appreciate your feedback. And the web activation is going to be available. We're going to start sending these emails out to distributors and customers on Monday. So if you bought licenses starting Monday, you're going to have access to our website, and then you're going to be able to activate your licenses through there. Thank you very much. Have a very happy Thanksgiving, and thank you for being an InduSoft customer. We really appreciate that. Bye.